Okay, so Kirsty, I have the seller's cards here. So Fred, just look away just for a second.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So for you, Kirsty, you have a break even.
Yeah.
Okay. Fred, you can look back now. So Kirsty, look away. Yeah. And for you, Fred, you have a break even or budget. You need to negotiate below.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kirsty, you can look back. And your time starts now.
Hello, welcome to the factory. How can I help you today?
Well, yeah, as you can imagine, I am looking to buy some apples. So I was just wondering, yeah, what can you offer me?
Well, I think the first question is, what are you intending to use these apples for? What?
Good question. So I do actually want to sell these. So I want to sell them as apples. I'm not using them in cakes or pies or juice or anything like that.
Okay, no problem. Any particular cooking apples, normal apples, eating apples, whole variety?
Eating apples. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So just selling them as a pure eating apple. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Quantities to begin with? What sort of?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, what's the minimum quantity you sell?
A ton per ton.
Ton.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds a lot. But okay, yeah, I can go with that. I can go with that.
That could be of different varieties, perhaps. If you want, so a mixture of a ton, but half of, depending on what you would like.
No, that's good. Yeah, no, I like that.
So our prices obviously range from about 700 per ton up to about 800, 900.
800, 900. I'll take the lowest. I'll take 700.
Okay. Is that for any particular? So we've got then obviously bittersweet. Do you want a range within that?
Yes, please. I will take a range. What can you offer in the range? Can I have 4 different varieties in that?
Yeah. Okay. So perhaps like 2 of your more bitter apples, which my variety knowledge is a bit lacking. So,
that's fine.
Yeah.
And will you pick delivery up on that as well?
We can do. Depending on the quantity. Are you thinking a ton just?
Just a ton, yeah.
Just a ton. Okay. Depending on distance, that can usually be arranged.
We're just down the road, so will you just cover that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Not too far.
Will you put the little stickers on it? Because they're going to be on a shelf, so you put the little stickers on it saying, you put your logo on it, it's fine.
Yeah. We do normally have our stickers. We don't normally put them on ourselves. We'll just send out a pack if that's something that we could do. You'll get the stickers, just not on the apples yet.
Oh, can't you put them on? Save me the effort.
Well, I can see about how the workers feel about that. We don't normally.
Oh, go on.
Oh, I'll have to see about that. What would be the best way to do that for us?
Okay, rather than do the stickers then, because could you put them all in a really nice presentation box with sort of like the paper or something? So I just literally take the top off and it's there. They're all presented nicely.
Yeah. Well, we do send them out in a box, like a cardboard crate box with then the individual little holders.
Cool.
So they are all laid out ready. As you put them out on the shelf, you can pop the stickers on.
Okay, you're going to make me do the stickers, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's good.
No extra work. But yeah. And then do you have any ideas of future purchases?
I don't know. I need to see how these go, but hopefully they'll go really well because it sounds like we've got nice marketing, all the bits to make it work. So
future then, building a relationship with from there.
Yep. Okay, let's do it then.
Perfect.
Agreed.
Well done. Well done. Kirsty, given the fact that you have only literally had 90 minutes in one of the first workshops doing this, I thought you did fantastically well. But then It's all right. You don't have to choke on it. It was just a compliment.
Don't make me laugh. If you make me laugh, I'm on talking fit for about half an hour.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
No, I thought you did absolutely fantastic well, and it was a really pleasant negotiation. It was a nice, comfortable negotiation all the way through. Can I just share what was agreed in the end? What was the final price? What was the summary?
So,
Go on. What do you think it is?
well, I think it's £700 for 1 ton, 2 different varieties, including delivery, and we're not putting the stickers on.
Yeah, I know you're not putting the stickers on. I thought it was 4 varieties anyway, but
yeah, 2.
So
sorry, I put down 2 bitter and 2 sweet, so 4 different varieties in total.
There we go. Cool. Yeah, that's it. But no stickers.
You really want these stickers, don't you?
Of course I do.
We're going to talk about that as well. Now, so here was the numbers.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there was a ZOPA and there was an agreement. Before we do that, I'm just going to ask, Kirsty, have you got any thoughts about how that negotiation went for you? Did it go to plan? Was there something you would have done differently? Is there something you noticed about Fred?
Well, I panicked because he was happy with my price. So I just didn't know what to do. When I said 700 onwards and he was like, yeah, 700, I was like, oh, now what?
Really interesting. So you panicked at that point. What else went through your mind? No, it's fine. What else? Because I noticed it. It's interesting to talk about that.
Well, I don't know. I just kind of thought, well, what's left to negotiate? We've got a price. We're both happy. And then,
okay.
But then I suppose if it was obviously in a real situation, that's why I kind of tried to come up with other things, because obviously there's more than just price to negotiate in those things.
Yeah. All right. Fred, what about you?
Yeah, happy with it. Happy with it. It's a good deal. And you look at it, we are both happy. It was pretty much bang in the middle, wasn't it? So from that point of view. And yeah, I just, well, you know, we probably know why I just said yes straight away. Because I got a good deal straight away. We didn't need to negotiate. So Kirsty did the negotiation herself. 900, 800, 700. Oh, I'll have 700 then. Cool. When you offer a range, I'll go for the lower one. So I thought, actually, I don't want to really push you anymore. I don't need to. Let's see what else I can get. Because I'm actually happy. We could have just stopped now. 3 minutes 30, could have stopped. Cool. Yeah. But then I tried to just, can I eke out anything more? Like the stickers, which I didn't get.
Now, here's an interesting thing, because Fred, just before we started, you said, look, you know, I want to play the role of the buyer. I want to play that position as a buyer. Okay. Question I would ask you, do you think a professional procurement person in that position would have accepted that necessarily as easily as you did?
They might well have pushed more to get that lower. They might have also gone, hang on a minute, I have got a bit of an inexperienced salesperson here and I could push more. I can get them for 400 quid. Well done me. Kirsty's not coming back and selling me again, because she's either lost her job for selling them below the cost, or it's just like, actually, I'm going to go find someone else who will pay 700 quid for them. So there's an element of, yeah, I kind of know market price. That's a pretty good deal. Can I get some extras and can I get some other bits in, which aren't going to cost her loads, but actually do help me because they're going to help me market them better. So I'm looking for the variables on that. That was what my mind was doing.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, obviously, if it was 400. Yeah, Kirsty would not have been happy, and I probably would not have agreed to it at that point. Yeah. But I would still challenge maybe, what, 500, 550, 600, 650? You know, the chances are that Kirsty may still have been happy with that. I'm going to talk about that in a second as well. All right, no, really interesting to see that. So as far as that negotiation went, what I saw there was lots of wonderful questions at the very beginning, pretty much closed questions from Kirsty, clarification. Okay, well, what exactly are you using them for? Great question. Right, because that's going to give you an indication as to what you want to be saying next as well. And Fred made it clear, I'm going to sell these on. Okay, so that's going to narrow the range of what needs to be, you know, explained and sold on, so to speak. But that was really good as well. Then it was, okay, so you're going to sell them on what type? Cooking, eating, what is it? Oh, just for eating. All right, so we're narrowing the range down to what it is that we actually want. What kind of quantity? Now, this is where Fred come back with a question to a question. Well, what's your minimum order quantity? What's your MOQ, so to speak? He said, well, you know, a ton. All right. Now, this is where Fred was pushing back a little bit. Again, maybe a conditioning remark to say, well, that's an awful lot, you know, but we could probably do it. But there was a pushback on that at that point as well. At this point, then it was, well, what's the price? And this is where, Kirsty, you then had to broach the subject of price. And you said immediately, well, we've got a range. And you said it starts at about 700 and goes to 800, 900. Now, my challenge here would be is that it was caveated with some soft language. It's about 700, okay? And then when you went to the 800 to 900, again, it just felt like you were just almost dangling, you were just fishing, throwing numbers out to see what kind of reaction you get. And the other thing is that you just talked about a range. So again, I would suggest is think about placing the reasons for that range. Because actually he said, yeah, 700. And then it was like, okay, well, what does a 700 count? You know, what's included?
Yeah.
So you might say at this point, look, if you wanted the cooking apples for selling on, well, they're at 700. If you want the premium eating apples off the shelf, they're at 800. And if you really want the stickered variety, where we put a sticker on it individually, they're 900. You see how you can build up. If you're going to have a range, if you're going to give a reason for a range, or sorry, rather, if you're going to state a range, try and give clarity around that as well.
Yeah.
Now, when you give clarity around it and you put those caveats to what those ranges mean, it also acts as a stronger anchor to the other party. Because now they have to maybe move some of the other variables if they're going to challenge some of those positions you put forward. So just that. Now I was listening and watching out for Fred. So of course Fred had a break even or a budget of 930, which means that the 7, the 8, and even the 900 was acceptable. And this is where I talk to people about looking for reactions. Now, you know, Fred made literally no reaction. He was looking at this and he was thinking, you know what? Yeah, that's all right. And immediately said, well, I'll take the 700. And at this point, Kirsty, it was like, oh, right, we've only been negotiating a minute and a half and he's just accepted my number. What do I do now? But I would also hazard a guess, Kirsty, that was a very quick, yeah, I'll have the 700. I'll just go for the lowest. I'll have the 700. Now, you're negotiating. You want to maximize the amount of value you can get out of this. So you didn't know that it was 930, but your goal in the negotiation is to maximize value while still delivering satisfaction. Now, when Fred came back, and if Fred had done that to me, I'd be really pissed because I was thinking, damn, I could have done better than this. All right? So this is, I mean, and this is my comment from earlier, Fred. Your quick acceptance is not necessarily going to deliver satisfaction to the other party. Satisfaction's a funny thing. We actually give value, we get satisfactions from things that are hard to come by. So even if we can accept it, I would necessarily hold off just accepting it and pushing it, even if you're going to do that, but don't accept too quickly. When you accept very, very quickly, it can actually detract from the value of the deal. So that's why I was asking that. Now, Fred, of course, as you say, it's a good deal. 700, I had 900 as a budget, I'm okay. But I would challenge you there, Fred, and say, look, your role as a negotiator is to maximize value. So you are still trying to get the lowest possible price, but still make sure that Kirsty is happy and satisfied with that. So as a procurement person myself, I would be pushing that back. And I mean, you know I would as well, yeah? And you know what? I might have even just got £3 or £4 off it. But it doesn't matter, because what that will do as well is it does two things. First of all, it's going to give Kirsty, oh God, that was really tough. I've had to let go some of that value, but I've got a deal now. Okay, it feels like it was a tough deal to get. That was good. It would also give the buyer the benefit of saying, well, actually, I have negotiated. I didn't take the first offer. I have actually worked. I've done what I'm here to do, which is to get more value. If I buy comfort by accepting the first thing, well, in a way, I'd be saying, well, anybody could do that. But that's not necessarily what a negotiator is about. A negotiator is trying to maximize. Go on, Kirsty, you're about to say something.
No.
You got that face. You say.
I think it's my thinking phase with the cold as well.
You
So
keep,
my mind has to
you
open.
keep going, you're about to say. Yeah.
I have to breathe through my mouth.
So that was a really interesting exchange there, okay? And again, I think Kirsty, as you say, you know, it's like, oh, what do I do now? All right, because you were expecting some pushback, and you didn't get it. So it's like you were pushing on an open door. All right, it took you by surprise.
There, so I could should I have been like, okay, well, actually, for your use, £700, the apples that we have at that price, I wouldn't recommend for resale. They're more our, I don't know, crumble apples or something. Like, should I push up?
Yeah, because you could do, but what you're looking to achieve is you're looking for the reactions from Fred. Now then, the only challenge I would have to that is you've already narrowed it down that he wanted eating apples. So he's already clarified effectively the quality. So if you then say, well, actually, sorry, Fred, no, the 700 was for the low pig feed animals. Well, why did you give me that?
Yeah.
So, you know, you've used the questions to narrow it down. Now you should give a range, but you've still got options within that range.
And you know what I'm like. I love questions at the beginning. That's what we train salespeople to do. You ask the load. And when you were doing that, you're not only narrowing it down to give me the right solution, as in this is what it is, you built confidence in me. So it's like, what are they for? Okay, yeah, well, we've got those things for you. Okay, good. Right. In that case, I'll trust you. Because you've asked me the right questions and you're trying to help me here, that's fine. They sit in my thing. Great, let's agree early. And then I thought, I'm just going to keep going back and nibbling and seeing how much extra I can just get from this. So I thought I'd have a bit of fun doing that.
Yeah, and that's a strategy there that Fred was using. It's either the Columbo, which is just one more thing, or the nibble, where it's now, I've agreed some of the big stuff, now I want to nibble some more stuff as well. The other alternative, though, is not to have accepted any of those numbers straight away, Fred, and then actually start to ask questions about some of the other bits. Okay, well, could we have a mix, or what do I get for those ranges? I want stickers on mine. So, you know, for 700, I want the stickers on there, you know. So that's when you start to add that in there as well. In a negotiation, gather information. I often say, obviously, and I'd say this to Fred and to others, the first numbers you get, I'd almost push back on straight away, but don't stop the conversation. Like, look, Kirsty, that's not going to work for you as it stands at the moment. Tell me, how are they packaged and delivered? All right, and then you can add more stuff to it that way. Okay. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's different preferences, different tries.
It is, and my, you know, again, this is practice. It's a chance to practice. My normal things is what I will say to salespeople. That what's going to happen is whatever you say, the buyer's going to say no to start with, because that's what they're trained to do. And I usually just go no. Don't you feel silly? I go no, too much, and you get even more shocked. I just say what's so I thought, well, this is safe. What happens if I just say yes straight away? That's how I play. This is what it's for. Practice. See what happens. See what I can do. Does that work? I can always go back to the stuff that I know is a safe bet. So
it was really interesting because when you accepted that first offer of 700, you actually got my backup. I was like, what? And I thought, he's doing this on purpose. Because, you know, it's, again, different people have different approaches, but this is exactly where you try them out. I mean, and we tried it out. You literally tried it. Yeah, I'll do it with the 700. And Kirsty's like on that open door, suddenly falling on her face, thinking, well, what do I do now?
Just like that, over the door with somebody. Whoa!
Yeah, it is. It's just like that. Now then, so obviously what happened after that then, there was some more clarifications, what else could be included. Oh, we are a delivery, stickers, boxing, individual boxes. My God, Fred, you know. But this is where now the question comes in as to what's valuable to people. Yeah, and this is where you try to understand the value of this stuff, you know, and this is where, you know, they're eating apples, they're being sold on, we see them with stickers, we see them individually wrapped, you know, sometimes they even have little tissues around them. Okay, I'm sure there's a cost associated with that. That's where you could have started to increase from the 700. You're right, absolutely, Fred. Yeah, we can do the tissues, but the tissues individually require, you know, an additional couple of man hours, you know, for doing that. You know, we are now looking at £783 per ton. If you want the stickers on, absolutely, we can do that. It does require a little bit more of the man hours on that. You know, we need to get the children to stick the stickers on as they pick them off the trees. You know, that's going to be an extra £14 per ton, whatever it is, yeah? So even though Fred was adding these other things in, that didn't stop you then doing something with those numbers. You could have actually then started to negotiate them up as well, okay? What else? Oh yeah, I mean, again, Fred was really starting to play in the stickers, you know. Yeah, go on, do it for us, you know, do it for us. And you were really good because you didn't give in. I'll have to come back to you on that one. Now that is a really good point, because lots of people will either give it in or not just say, look, I don't know the answer. And you said, look, I don't know the answer. I'll have to come back to you on that one. So again, very, very good in that sense as well. Now, the only thing I would say is we had 4 minutes. There was actually a lot of discussions. What I would also recommend is to start to summarize within the negotiations. And even at the end, there was time to summarize. So let's just clarify, what have we agreed? Because, you know, was it 2 bitter types of apples or was it a mix of 4? You know, is it delivered? How far is that? Is that in the 15-mile range? That kind of stuff. So there was an opportunity to summarize, and my suggestion would be is as you get to 2 or 3 elements, summarize, and then if there's more, keep summarizing. Okay. Fred, anything to add, sir?
No, I mean, I was doing it as we're going along. So you know, I love the question at the beginning. Take practice, try something a bit different. I did. Yeah, it's a lovely tone to the whole thing. You know, you wanted to help, wanted to do, and that's what came across. You know, I felt that's what I'm trying to take from this when I offer to play the buyer is to say, well, how does what the salesperson do make me feel? Yeah, because we do buy on emotion, and people say, oh no, it's logic. But really, if I'm feeling safe, I'm feeling as though you're looking after me, if you've got my best intentions, that is going to go a long way. And you did that, so I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, this is good. I'll work with you. I will want to sell these through. I'll want to come back and buy some more. So
the tone of the negotiations are often influenced by the positions that they're being given in the sense of, in this one, the offers were already in the zone of acceptability. It was already in that zone of possible agreement. So we can often see there being a far more relaxed approach because we're going to make a deal, or this is going to be okay for us, for both of us. When it's outside, so say, for example, Fred, you had a £600 budget. And if you come in at 700, 800, 900, I wonder, and this is where we practice more, is we then go and see whether the tone and the warmth of the negotiation goes down a notch because it's not acceptable. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can become acutely aware of that, if you can notice the temperature has dropped and genuinely dropped, that might give you an indication that there is movement that needs to be done if we're going to get an agreement here. And I see a lot of this, and Fred, you know, I see it a lot when it's inside, it's happy. When it's outside, we're not happy. It's like, oh God, you know.
Sorry.
Now that is either a cat or your foot.
It's Tilly. Such a professional. That was actually going to be, she was asleep, so I didn't want to wake her up. I was actually going to say, oh, come on, Tilly wants you to put the stickers on. Sorry, you said a really important thing there as well about the emotional tone. I do apologise.
I might have to try and orchestrate this so we get some really, I mean, I'll edit some of this out, but I had a great negotiation this morning where they had a $5 split, no, $10 split between it. But they had had such rough negotiations beforehand that they were never going to get there. And because both proposals were outside, it was like, you know, I was on tilt. I'm almost giving up now. Don't really care, you know. And yet there was still an agreement that could have been made. So anyway, I'm going to call it an end there. Kirsty, anything from you? Any thoughts from you on that one?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
I think you've done brilliantly. If you've not done the full training and you've just done this off the back of a taster, then really cool. I mean, as a sales trainer, don't lose that selling style. Ask questions. Questions are great. But as a trainer, we're both trainers. What's your biggest takeaway? What's your one kind of thing going, right, okay, that's going to stick in my mind most as a result of this?
Well, I've put keep summarizing. Even if you're happy, try not to act as if you're happy yet. Kind of thing. I've got random scribbles everywhere, but I think that's kind of my main.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Summarizing, I always say, summarizing is my second top element to negotiate. The first one is open questions. Ask questions, get information. The next one is summarize. And the next one after that is always make conditional movements. Never just give anything away. Always make sure it's conditional.
Yeah.
Right. Well, with that in mind, it's the end of this particular session. So I would like to thank Kirsty, and I would like to thank Fred. And until next time, all the best and keep practicing.
Thank you.
Cheers.